For those of you who love urban exploration, why? Why is it so cool to wander through abandoned buildings, items left behind, and read about the dark history that happened there? Destination Mystery had a great time exploring some old apartments and learning about the dark events that occurred there. Stay tuned. Mystery Media Group presents Case File 53.
You are listening to Mystery Media Group.
Yay! Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike, and we are Destination Mystery.
Destination Mystery paints the story for paranormal content, abnormal adventures, and the fun behind the investigations.
We believe the paranormal is all around us. Each week, we'll take you to a new destination where we will try and solve the mystery. This is not the same old ghost story you've heard before. We will not only tell the spooky story, we'll go to the remote location to investigate for ourselves.
Fasten your seatbelts and put on your helmet as we take you on a new adventure that will leave you questioning what you've always thought about the paranormal. Well, I wanted to do the Idaho Falls apartments that we investigated a couple of weeks ago.
So this is a really old set of apartments. There downstairs is a great big room that they put coal in, where they used to have an old boiler. And so there's a coal chute and then a big boiler system and underground tunnels and hatchways. Anyway, across the street is a convenience store, and it was held up at gunpoint. And the cops chased the criminal across the street. I don't know how far they chased him, but he ran downstairs into that room, and I don't know if it was death by suicide, cop suicide, or whatever, but he ended up getting shot there, and he's got blood on his hands, and he put his hand against the wall and left his fingerprints down the side of that wall.
And they're still there.
And they're still there, yeah. I don't know how he got into that room, but it's a pretty creepy, nasty old place.
And your understanding is that he ran down there to hide from them, right? But they found him.
They found him. We got a lot of homeless people trying to sneak down there, and been many people we've had to kick out. I feel bad for kicking them out, but it scares the people that live there who's paying rent. So
sure. But
I don't even know if that's a true story or not, but there's a handprint with blood. So
I don't know either. There's been a lot of different convenience store robberies that sound similar to that one. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's true or not either, but I've had several people tell me that we need to go investigate that place because the handprint is still there. And when we went a couple of weeks ago, it was still there. So I'm guessing there's some truth behind it because of the fact that so many people have relayed the same story over and over again. And it's quite possibly that it did happen just because, I've done a lot of searches on articles that where this could have occurred, and there's like 5 or 6. So
right,
we're probably pretty spot on.
Happens so often anymore. It's not really a news thing. Yeah, just another Tuesday.
Yeah, we found some old apartments that we kind of explored and just walked through where they were empty. Nobody lives in them anymore.
They've been vacant for 10 years, 20 years. And it kind of looks like somebody's been stewed in the one bathtub.
Yeah, it looks disgusting.
Yeah.
And that might be why nobody has stayed in there for 20 years, because somebody was stewed in the bathtub. Not that that's funny, but that is really literally what it looks like. And then there was another apartment that we went into that we kind of found like a room that was in between 2 apartments. and then it kind of like went in between the walls of different apartments, and it was kind of creepy how we could kind of hear what was going on in the apartments that were there.
It's like again, it started out in a coal chute where the furnace was and the coal room was, but then there's a little really narrow hallway that's been dug out, and then some steps dug into the side, like 3 steps, and then the concrete's just hand poured onto the dirt. It's not, finished concrete. It was like an afterthought. And there's this little room between two apartments, so it's half of it's in the ground or floor level, so half's above floor level and half's in the ground. And it looks like somebody's just made a little creeper place. I don't know.
Well, it seems kind of like a janitor's
Hidey
closet
hole, what it seems like. Where he
workroom.
goes to hide.
Really strange because it's in between two apartments and you can kind of hear what's going on in between both those apartments pretty well. So I just was like,
it's not like it was a built room between them. It was just a space
yeah,
between them that there's just a stud and then the horsehair and lath on the apartment side, but there's nothing on the closet side. So
it's like they just decided to make a little makeshift room out of it or something.
somewhere to hide.
Man, I've lived in several apartments in my life, and that's kind of creepy to me.
Yeah.
And
Like
I've
those
lived
hotel rooms that have the little hole drilled in it.
Yeah. When my husband and I were first married and super poor, we lived in some pretty shady places. So who knows what happened.
Well, that was only a block down from this building.
Yeah.
Your first one.
One of them was, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And that one was pretty shady. But we did do a little investigation inside the boiler room of the Avalon Apartments where you can still see the handprint of the guy that was supposedly shot down there. And I think we had our REM pod, the spirit box, the EVP recorder, and the EMF. So I have a few little recordings. It's been a while since I've gone through this, so I can't remember exactly what they say, but we'll go through them together.
I had my thermal imager, but I didn't get anything this time. Not a thing, except the water heater.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start with the first one.
Are you sad about what happened to you?
Let me increase the volume. I asked, are you sad about what happened to you? And you hear a man respond.
Are you sad about what happened to you?
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like two different words, and they're both male.
Uh-huh.
First one might be yeah, but I don't know what the second one is. I'll just play those last two.
Sounded like yes to me, the first one.
Me too. I don't know what the second one is. Here is the next one.
Are you standing near that red light?
Now you can hear the REM pod going off. We had it in the corner right next to where the handprint was, and it was going off. So that's why I asked this question. And you will hear like a car drive by. That's what's in the background.
Are you standing near that red light?
So you hear the REM pod go off and a car drive by. That REM pod was right next to the handprint, and nobody was standing next to it. So it was a
It's
little
interesting that it kept going off right when you'd ask a question.
Yeah, I thought so. And it wasn't like next to any wires or electrical things that would have caused it to go off either. It was really nothing there.
No, it's just bricks and dirt.
Yep.
Spiders.
Bunch of cigarette butts. Here's the next one.
Are you still here? Can you stand next to that red light? Thank you.
So it did seem to respond on cue to what I asked it to do regarding the REM pod, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. That one is a steady beep, a steady chime. But the one before it was almost sounds like Morse code. We really got to learn that.
I know, because we've had that happen on several occasions where it sounds like.
Yeah. It's not a continuous beep. It's not a measured beep. It's just all over the place. But this one is a continuous, same pitch beep. So I'm kind of curious about that.
I wonder if there's an app that we could download that would tell us what Morse code that is. We'll have to play around with it a little bit. Here is the next one.
Did you build these apartments?
Again, to me, it sounds like a male. And I think he says no, but I'm not sure. Play it one more time.
Did you build these apartments?
Any ideas?
Sounds like no to me.
Yeah, me too. So I'm guessing that's
Because if it's the guy that was shot, he certainly didn't build them.
Right. Yep. Okay, here's the next one.
Did you run down here to hide?
So you hear the REM pod go off, and then you hear a little voice that sounds like it says hide, but it's really hard to pick out. I'll play it one more time.
Did you run down here to hide?
Right there it said hide. I'll go back to the beginning. Hide. It's hard to make out, but it does sound like it says hide. Plus, we got the confirmation from the REM pod again. And here is the next one.
Did you desperately need some money? Is that why you robbed the convenience store? Is that you? That's you. Can you step back?
It responded on cue. Play it one more time.
Did you desperately need some money? Is that why you robbed the convenience store? Is that you? That's you. Can you step back?
See, that one was continually again, and the one before was broken. That's interesting. I wonder what the difference is.
I don't know. Here's the next one. So you'll hear something right before I ask the question, did you run down here to hide?
Did you run down here to hide?
And then I just hear like a whistle or something. I really don't know what it says or if it's even anything significant.
That last one kind of sounds like something falling to the ground.
Does it? Let me play it one more time.
To me, it does.
Could be.
Like a slump to the ground?
Yeah. Which is what would happen if you got shot.
Yeah. Well, I know what that sounds like because
you've done it before.
I fall.
Because you fall all the time. And maybe it's a hand sliding down the wall because you see the fingerprints and then sliding down of the hand as he's like dropping to the floor. And then you do see a little bit of blood splatter on the floor as well, which is kind of creepy that it's still there. Anyway, here's the next one.
My name is Melissa, and I've got my friends Mike and Bella with me. We were wondering if there was anybody here that might want to talk to us.
Don't know what it says, but it does sound like a male to me.
It does.
It's almost like, I'm going to play it one more time. It's either three words or three syllables. I am here or something like that.
My name is Melissa, and I've got my friends Mike and Bella with me. We were wondering if there was anybody here that might want to talk to us.
Anyway, 3 words, 3 syllables. I hear I am here, but that could be just because that's what I want to hear. I'm not entirely sure. Here's the next one.
And this box that I'm holding in my hand might be able to allow us to hear you talk if you want to try. Is that you?
So, and the very first one after I asked the question, I hear help.
That middle blip,
Yeah.
the really short one,
Yeah.
sounds disembodied. And then the rest of it, there's no sound whatsoever coming out of it.
You hear a little bit of the REM pod and then it stops. And then
I don't hear anything.
Oh, you don't?
Except for that very tall part at the very end, there's a little bit,
Yeah.
but all that in between, there's nothing. I didn't hear anything.
So you'll hear a little bit of the REM pod. It's pretty faint, and then it stops, and then you hear what to me sounds like I need help, which is that big section that you can see. So I'll play it one more time.
And this box that I'm holding in my hand might be able to allow us to hear you talk if you want to try.
I hear help there.
Yeah.
And you can kind of hear the REM pod right there.
Is that you?
And it stops. And then right
Help
there,
me?
either help me or I need help. One of the two.
Huh.
That's what I hear. Okay, here's the next one.
Is there anything you would like people to know?
It almost sounds like a laugh or a giggle, but I don't know. What do you hear on just right here?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I can imagine that whoever robbed the convenience store was in a state of desperation. Probably wasn't proud of what they did, but you wouldn't do that unless you really had to. I wouldn't.
There's a lot of homeless in that area and a lot of shelters in that area. So, yeah, it's probably a pretty desperate situation.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one.
Yes, that's exactly how that works. Is this where you died? I can see your bloody handprint on the wall.
So that was just some red pod activity that was kind of corresponding with questions we were asking. Here's the next one.
What was your name? Was your name Jacob?
So we got what sounded like Jacob, and we also got Jacob on our Ovilus. And I can't confirm that's what any of the names were because a lot of them don't even have the names listed of the articles that I looked up. So I'm not entirely sure. But the fact that it sounds like Jacob and we got Jacob on the Ovilus could be what his name was. And this is the last one.
Who shot you?
I can't really tell what it says. I'll play it one more time.
Who shot you?
You make it out at all?
No.
Sound male or female to you?
One more time.
I'll just play that last part.
It doesn't sound like the male we've heard before. To me, it doesn't.
It doesn't, but it doesn't sound female either. So I don't know what it says.
Young kid.
Maybe. Possibly, just the imprint of what am I trying to say? Event is still replaying. I don't know. I was going to read this one article because it seemed to be the closest to where the incident occurred. At approximately 3 a.m., Idaho Falls police officers responded to a report of a robbery that had just occurred in this area. I'm not going to give out the address. The victim had just robbed a convenience store, and a victim was outside a business in the area when they were approached by the suspect. The suspect asked the victim, "What do you have on you?" and stated that he had a gun. The victim reported that while they did not see a gun, the suspect had their hands inside their jacket pockets and did appear to have a firearm. The victim reported that the suspect made statements including threats to harm the victim. The victim, fearing for their safety, gave the suspect a small amount of cash they had on them. And the suspect again threatened the victim and told them not to call the police before leaving, which the victim did call the police, fearing for his life, and they chased the suspect into the basement of a known apartment building where he was apprehended, and that's all it says. I mean, there's several where it talks about them robbing a convenience store, but it doesn't say that he ran into an apartment and that's where he was found or anything.
Well, they use the word basement too, and there's not many basement apartments near.
No, the address of this one is like a block away from where we were, which would make sense. So,
well, that's how far away it is as a block.
So that's probably it. Kind of weird.
Yeah. There must be something wrong with us because I enjoyed it.
I did too.
Even the spiders in my hair and the mess and it was still fun.
I didn't enjoy the spiders in my hair, but I love going through those apartments. And I don't know what it is about me snooping through people's old stuff. Like I love to go through the drawers and the cupboards and the phone book, algebra homework left on one of the tables. And what else did we find?
Wasn't there a horror movie left on the table or the counter?
Was it
The Conjuring, I think?
I can't remember, but yeah, it seems like it, like an old videotape, VHS.
When people ask me what we're doing, I tell them that my sister's going on an investigation and that I'm just kind of snooping. And because that's kind of what it is. I love to snoop through old buildings.
Well, that was half of when we went through that school this last weekend, half of the fun for me was just walking through it and like seeing what was left behind. We went down into the janitor's room and found like tons of documents and floor plans. And there was a lost and found where like there was a wedding ring that was found in such and such room. And it was just, I don't know, I just find it fascinating, like snooping through people's stuff and kind of putting together a storyline or maybe this is what happened. Maybe this is how they lived. Maybe this is what they did. All that kind of stuff is just, I guess it's kind of a mystery and a fun adventure for me to try and piece together and
mystery. So I'm glad you didn't find a locked room with like blanket and pillow and handcuffs or something in it.
No.
Done with janitors. That'd be a little weird.
I did find how when we went to Asylum 49 and there was that chair down in the, we found one of those.
Oh dear. Actually,
there was two chairs it's like down below the basement in this room that looked like it used to would store servers for a computer, but they weren't servers anymore. They had been disconnected. It was like clear in the back of that room when there was two chairs just sitting there.
With wire on them?
No wire. Just seemed kind of strange. Anyway.
It would either be nefarious or nap taking. One of the two.
One of the two, but it was just in a really weird place. Like you'd have to actually be pretty small to get back there. Well, we'll end it there then, and let's record again. If you enjoy our show, please like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. For more information, visit www.destination-mystery.com. Find your own destination
and solve the mystery. Bye.